Hello one and all to another unboxing or very shorthand review. Today we're going to be looking at the Black Riders from the Dark Alliance set, which upon first glance one will notice that, hey, don't these guys look familiar yet legally distinct? So there's no prizes for guessing that these are based on Tolkien's Nazgul from the Lord of the Rings books, and so with that in mind, and also with absolutely no licensing on it whatsoever, let's actually take a bit of a closer look. So, box art, to be honest, is pretty low budget but pretty decent. It does look like an original piece. It does look like the producers have sat down and actually created quite a nice piece of artwork, I think. If one was to look at this in some sort of hobby shop, you'd probably be quite attracted to it. We can see the mouth of Sauron mounted. We can see the Witch King himself and the nameless Nazgul Black Rider, as he's called. So it's in 1/7/2 scale. It tells us that there are 10 mounted figures and 2 foot figures. And the code is ALL72055. So, have a look online. These can be picked up really cheap. So I think it's about £8 for 12 figures, which is, you don't get real. That's kind of the best value you're going to get. And you can probably find them cheaper. So that's the front. Let's see what it says on the back. So it gives us pictures of them in the red plastic that they come in. So you can see the individual poses and the horses and all the different figures that they're mounted on. So we can see that we've got the Witch King with his mace. We've got the mouth of Sauron, who kind of looks, a bit like a scarecrow, just waving at you, obviously telling these riders to halt. And the plastic is somewhat posable, so you can, it's very rudimentary, but you can sort of point things up. And so there are 5 horse poses, and 10 individual poses, and the 2 foot figures. One's holding a dagger, and the other one's the Witch King. So let's have a look what you actually get inside the box. So the packaging itself, it's not the best. And it comes in this real excellent production value. And it comes in this, well, we can see if you're familiar with RedBox, this is essentially a RedBox product. So it comes in a nice big freezer bag, so you can reuse that. So just mind the noise for a second. I'm doing it with my teeth because I need one hand to hold the camera. Here we go. Alright, okay, so let's lay them out. So we got our 10 horses here. And then on one real chunky bit of, I think, some kind of maybe polyethylene plastic, we get the rest of the figures. So these vary. Your quality, your pieces may be in better or worse quality than these. And what's not showing up on the camera so much is, well, it should, because you can see how shiny this plastic actually is. So just having a look at it. However, the folds in all the clothes, very nice. These are very nice sculpts, to be totally honest with you. RedBox have certainly produced worse. And so yeah, the quality varies from box to box. I find in the main, they do tend to be pretty good. Like I say, let's just... So we've got the smiling mouth of Sauron there, waving. We've got a few of these. Now, when I bought these, I was so looking forward to it. I just had to go ahead and paint some. So these are not based. They're not finished by any means, but these are essentially what they look like. And you can see that the poses themselves are very dynamic. They're really nice. They're all very interesting poses. There's a lot of interest that meets the eye. So, but there is also a caveat, which is you will have to do either some organisational work or a bit of chopping and changing. Now, so the plastic itself does not take paint very well. So you can see here, you know, the little bit of it flaking off, which isn't a problem. You can just get some black on it and put it back. Now, the horses, some of the horses, you can fit your dude on pretty easily, like that. And as you can see, that the actual fit isn't that bad at all. Sometimes with RedBox figures, you've really got to do some chopping and melting and whatever else just to get the figure to sit on its mount. So what I've done is I've just gone and sprayed these satin black with a very light grey dry brush, just to make it a little easier. But obviously they're off balance. These aren't precision engineered figures, so if you actually look at the bases, you'll see that they're all kind of warped, which it's not so bad. Like I say, you can mount them, it is easily done, but they will just sort of fall over just like that. So yeah, so in the main, in this particular set, 8 of these mounted figures fit on a horse no problem. Some of them, let me just try and get this one off. Some of them you will have to do some trimming. Let's get you in focus. Yeah, you will need to trim them. So if you are going to do a little bit of chopping and changing, you're probably better off doing it before you start base coating them. So yeah, so out of the 10 mounted figures, they all look really good, and 8 of the 10 fit on quite nicely. They do marry up to the horses quite well. Another little detail is it's not so bad if you're mounting them in 3s. I like to put them on 4s, just simply because I think the visual effect's a lot higher. But if you have a look, you'll see that the tails kind of smash into the faces, so either varnish your figures or just deal with the fact that there will be green plastic eventually chipping through. So yeah, I mean, of all the kits that I've ever made, for all the monopose kits that have very little customization, these are my favourite, just because they're easy to paint. The only real thing that is a bit of a chore is all the leather work, you know, all these straps, and sometimes the mould quality. This is the first box that I opened, and I had to do a lot of messing about. But, you know, there's nothing saying that they have to be black. You can do them off any colour scheme that you wish. I actually think they look really good if you did them in, you know, typical heraldry and just made them, you know, roaming knights errant. These horses, they don't particularly look like worse for wear. They don't look like they're undead horses. Some of the poses, horse poses, are a bit static, but I mean, as far as proportions go, they're well proportioned. And some of the actual dynamism in these poses is beautiful. I think they've really knocked the ball out of the park on this one. So this is from the Dark Alliance set, and they've got loads. I've got a few bits and pieces, but I just wanted to parade these, because these are just excellent figures. So aside from, you know, minor concerns that they don't take paint very well, and you'll have to do a bit more work than you normally would with, let's say, you know, a more established company. RedBox are kind of notorious for having really cheaply produced and cheap looking plastics, but if you can get through that with a little bit of work, these are very, very rewarding figures that will fit in anybody's collection. You don't have to like Lord of the Rings very much. It's my favourite set of films to watch if I've got 12 hours to kill and I'm hungover. But even if you're not really into it, these are just nice mounted riders in, you know, raggedy capes and their hooded figures. So yeah, for 12 figures for £9, can you disagree with that? You know, RedBox have certainly produced more worse quality products. So I'd say that this is at the upper end of what you can really get out of them. So Anyway, thanks for watching. It's been a pleasure, and there'll be more to follow. So have a nice day, guys.